here with Seth Godin in
and Tony Shea.
In Times
Tony.
Square.
I'm Seth. We have similar
Yes.
haircuts almost.
We do get mixed up sometimes. For those of you who have been living in a cave, Seth is the best-selling author of many, many books, including Purple Cow, Tribes with an S.
Yes.
Yes.
And Delivering
All Marketers
Happiness, my
All
number
Marketers
one New
Are
York Times bestseller.
Oh yes, and he is actually on the cover of Delivering Happiness. Thank you for providing
That was easy.
that endorsement. We are standing outside the bus here. We have 15 pedicabs here with flags on them, and they're going to lead the bus like reindeer leading Santa's sleigh, hopefully. And then you and I are going to be talking on the bus with Glenn. So. Yeah. So your whole goal of writing, whether it's ebooks or actual books, is what's your primary motivation is what?
It has never been to make money. Writing books to make money is a fool's errand. 170,000 books published every year. Less than 1,000 make money. Right? Those are really bad odds. But books spread ideas with authority, and they're souvenirs of ideas. So that, you know, if you can open a door for somebody and help them think a different way and cause a positive change in the world, that's a good day's work. There are people who are going to look at what you're doing and say, well, that's Tony, of course he can do it. Or they're going to look at what you've done and say, well, those were gimmicks, and it's really just a regular company with some frosting. And they're wrong. The heart of what's going on here, the heart of the shift in our economy, is this is the core. It happened, it's a service company that happens to sell shoes, right? It's a movement about happiness that happens to have a book, not the other way around.
Right.
And you don't have to be Tony, whatever that means, to do stuff like this. That the people that we run into who are, you know, selling glasses in the developing world, or building companies that buy one shoe, give a shoe away, these people didn't start with lots of money or privilege. That it's not about permission, it's about the passion and the decision to make an impact. Zig Ziglar tells a great story years and years ago. There was a troubled high school covered with graffiti, a lot of disciplinary problems and stuff. And the vice president in charge of discipline started one year in September and started finding the kids in school who had done something good and sending letters home to their parents requiring a signature to come back, like disciplinary letters.
Right.
We caught your kid helping an older person cross the street on the way to school.
Right.
We caught your kid helping the teacher clean up the room. And within 3 months, there was no graffiti. All the behavior problems went away. Wow. None of the people changed, none of the staff changed. All that changed was highlighting and talking about the good stuff and giving those people a platform to succeed.
Wow. We were talking about passion.
Right. So why is passion so hard? Right? Is it a genetic thing? If I ask Craig Ventnor to look at your DNA and my DNA and compare it to that guy's DNA, would we find something different? Why do some people have passion and other people apparently don't? And I refuse to believe you were born with passion or not. I think that's bogus. So if it's not hereditary, then what is it, and why don't other people evoke or show us their passion? And the reason is because they're afraid. That it all comes down to the fact that we evolved as human beings to fit in. If you didn't fit in the village when there were 150 people and the chief got mad at you, the chief would throw you out of the village. And then a saber-toothed tiger would eat you and you would die.
True.
So people who didn't avoid that problem are dead and had no children. So we learned and we were trained to fit in a little bit, right? Now there are no saber-toothed tigers. Now we are living in a totally different world where ideas are the currency, not the physical ability to hammer something or the ability to do exactly what you're told. So what I write about in Linchpin is that if you want to have an impact, you're going to have to figure out where the fear is. What does the fear sound like? What's its tone of voice? What tricks do you have available to you? Because it's important now. How are you going to overcome that internal resistance, as Steve Pressfield calls it, to change? Happiness's best friend is kindness. And passion's best friend is generosity. So that going forward, I think it's really hard to be passionate unless you're willing to be generous with people and give them the emotional gift of connection and leading them in ways that matter. And I think that if you want to be happy, we're going to have to figure out how to be kind. And when you read the newspaper every day, it's really easy to believe that that's not the right answer. The newspaper would like us to believe that we are too kind. The newspaper would like us to believe that we need more people having angry fights. You know, we're right here in the media capital of the world, and there's a TV network right there that does nothing every day but fight and say negative things and look for ways to start conflict. And I don't see how we can do that and be happy at the same time.
Well, I appreciate all your time, and thanks for walking with us through Times Square.
Well, I want to say that I don't think the world understands how far out on a limb you are willing to go. And I don't think the world appreciates what you're trying to do to the level that they should. That, you know, if we're keeping score and we said, would we be better off if there were more Tony Hsiehs? The answer is, you betcha. So I want to thank you for doing that.
Well, I guess the one thing I would say to that is it may be true that I go more out on a limb, but also we're living in a world where falling from the limb is not that dangerous, and it's not, you and I, like, no matter what happens, like, we're never going to be homeless or worry about food, and that wasn't the case 20,000 years ago.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn.